Prince of Paxony, Chapter 11, The Aftermath. The thing I don't understand is why wouldn't Norton work for me and yet would work for you? Aaron looked bemused. They were all sitting around the banqueting table back in the Paxson royal castle, reliving the battle and getting a little bit drunk on the wine that Slipper had brought up from the cellars for this most special of occasions. "Oh, that's easy," said Elise, looking cool and resplendent in her white tunic. She pushed back her silver gold hair to stop it tumbling across her face. The elf magic that powered Norton was diminished by the length of time that it had spent here in the Greylands. It was just bad luck that it finally ran out just as you needed it. But when Smudge and I arrived and I picked it up, the magic was recharged instantly. "But how did you come to be there anyway? You were supposed to be back in the Elflands, in the Golden City," insisted the prince. "Well, I was, but after your father recovered consciousness and started showing signs of a full recovery, I had nothing left to do. The physicians could take care of him as well as I could, and when Smudge returned to the city, I persuaded him to take me with him to see how you were getting on." "Just as well as I did, seems." Rowan grumbled at this, and typical, "I gave you a direct order to stay at home and you disobeyed me." Then his voice softened a little. "But I'm glad you did, otherwise things could have turned out somewhat differently. And I'm glad that you arrived too, Smudge. Those dragons are very devil to tackle without any flying equipment." The unicorn lifted his head from the bucket of wine he was consuming and gave a little grin. "I didn't really have any option about coming, Your Highness. Your daughter can be very persuasive. Besides, I can't abide dragons, and I had a score to settle with Scarber myself." The memory of the years spent as a misshapen pony suddenly creased his face. Then as suddenly the shadow was gone. "I say, this is very nice wine." King Rowan took the hint and called out to the faithful old servant. "Slipper, have we any more of this excellent wine left in the cellar? Come on, this is a special occasion." The servant looked sorrowful. "I'm sorry, Your Highness, but we only have a few bottles left, and we shall be needing them soon for another special occasion." He looked knowingly at Aaron and Elfleece. The Elven King looked a little perplexed. He looked at Slipper, then at Smudge, who coughed and inclined his head. Aaron and Elfleece were far away, looking into each other's eyes with devotion. "Aha," said Rowan. "I see what you mean. That special occasion." And they all laughed. Outside, on the battlements of the castle, a palace guard heard the laughter as he watched the sun set in a blaze of reds and oranges, darkening into shades of purple as the minutes ticked away. From up here, he thought, the workers returning from the fields look like tiny insects scurrying back to their nest.